Hi, excuse me. My throat is clearing out. I'm drinking more coconut based liquids, and luckily for me, I had a little fever, but my throat wasn't sore. Like I said, just a little probably congestion with just me having seasonal retinitis. I've been exposed to certain viruses, but I'm pretty sure that it's not that bad. I mean, there's no such thing as perfect health. You can clean your system out. I just stopped smoking tobacco, and I started smoking tobacco because I was smoking marijuana, and I was really, you know, put into a very hand tying situation where I'm dealing with random people. But that's how it is when you gotta come up, you gotta hustle, you grow up in a neighborhood, you don't know who half the people are, you understand the concept of being an inbred, and you pretty much form bonds or not. You either get along or you get a knot, and you grow up and you get a job and you just work hard and leave some type of legacy. Hopefully one day own your own business or learn and become a skilled worker with everything. And as you can see, I just went inside my freezer and it looks like something that rolls. You know what I'm saying? Being that I was introduced to sex at an early age, I was being sexual when I looked at that, but it probably could be something innocent because I just bought me a machine. When I start back working out, I'm going to use this right here, and it pretty much needs to be charged, but this thing, it vibrates. Oh, now it works. I'm going to use it as a massager. I actually found a massage place. I go back to work tomorrow at 2 to 11. I'm so excited. I'm at a McDonald's in Walmart on North Main Street. Um, I've been around people, like I said, that speak each or choose to speak that way. Like I said, when you're an intellect, I've heard people that speak with very proper vernacular, and it's definitely a sign of being a distressed person. I want to be articulate, but I actually am from an area that I consider the ghetto, where there are liquor stores, and there's a culture full of dysfunction, and there are people that are thinking that they're upscale. They call them narcissists. And then there's people that think that they're poverty stricken or they actually are poverty stricken. Some of us really are. A majority of us really are kind of poverty stricken. We've got hood bad habits. Like T.I. has a song called Bad Habits, where the more you learn, the more you grow, you realize what works for you, the way you work. Just like working at a job. I'm like, there's different gains I'm going to make. I realize that it gives me confidence because I come from dysfunction. So the more I accomplish things, doing push-ups more and more, working out, it makes me feel accomplished. You know what I'm saying? It's all common sense. You might not have built a plane, but you know how to fly one. You know the basis of navigation, and you can get somewhere. That's kind of how my life works. One day, I'm just gonna go get a license. It's like trial and error. It's like being a daredevil. Some people grow up and you can outsmart people, and a lot of people actually that are from the ghetto or the ghetto mentality actually survive by using a lot of common sense. But it doesn't mean you're dumb. It just means that you may grow up in a household where you might not have, you have to learn, have hands-on experiences where you learn a little different, and that's how you learn how to socialize with people. And that's why some people have a bad social life, and which can create chaos in your life as a whole when you're trying to achieve goals and things of that nature, because some people grow up and they do have silver spoons, and then there are people that want to create a struggle for you, or there are people that don't want to change certain things, habits. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how you look at it. Some people really, embrace that whole growing up in crack houses, not going to school and learning nothing, and understanding that your health is at risk when you don't clean, when you don't, you know what I'm saying, when you don't study. You will realize. I know that I've been exposed to things. That's why I say I grew up. I remember us having termite infestations and stuff. And I'm like, as much as I complain about the smell of mothballs, it is actually used to, do away with a lot of things like that. You know what I'm saying? To keep animals away. When people build properties and things of that nature, they we got little things like that using to keep away animal life, to keep the essence of actually having a home when you're inside from outside. You know, it's a paradigm. It's not just a paradigm, it's reality, and it's beautiful. So you just gotta figure out things for yourself. I hate the fact that I sound like this, but I will be going to work and I'm not necessarily sick. You know what I'm saying? Just a little congested. I've been, dehydrated. You know what I'm saying? Dehydrated. Basically, I've been watching videos about arteries and all that stuff. When you smoke, especially things like tobacco, you're clogging your arteries. When you experience stress, you know what I'm saying, your body will think and move different. I haven't been running or jogging or anything. I had made a conscious decision to run like 9 miles a day, and I felt so different. I felt so rejuvenated. So I've got to get back into it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was telling me I was a covert narcissist based off the fate of my life, and I think about shit like that. I think about the fact that I put on sandals, I put on wedge heels, I don't remember putting on wedge heels, but I remember, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really a big fan of certain feminine things, but I was a tomboy. But putting on closed-toe shoes and, people trying to make me wear tight clothes, that is the reason why a lot of my body fat was storing wrong on my upper back. But it's a lot that come with femininity, and I'm glad there are women that actually embrace, a certain level of femininity and actually enjoy being a feminine woman. Most of us are androgynous now, and we're being emasculated by manhood to ourselves for whatever reason. I've got so much to learn and things of that nature, but you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I grow up, I do have people that have superiority complexes over me. Once you realize that you have buildings and you're paying rent and things of that nature, you will be agitated by the fact that, you're not the one that contributed to it. So I've got to make more accomplishments. I appreciate any job I get, and I think that's why I do get jobs, because I actually am good at cleaning up to a certain degree. And the fact that I grew up in an environment where I survived things like termite infestations, I grew up having colds and stuff. So I know that I always like to disinfect things no matter what I have. Even if I don't have enough, I'll take some Dial soap, some antibacterial soap, you know what I'm saying, add some water to it and wipe stuff down, because it's the small things like that that'll help, control the way that the population is getting sick, the way that these viruses are moving around and everything. So I really appreciate my job. So to the community and things of that nature, I'm 30 years old now, and, I grew up with all kind of dysfunction in my household, incestual relationships forced on me, being left around little boys and them taking advantage and learning to have sex at an early age and being put on a pedestal and me being viewed as an inferior. There were people that were analyzing that and was really, you know, telling me that they were, crushing my ego or whatever they was doing as a human being. I had a human right to defend myself, and I just want to say that I understand that people have families and stuff, but you know what I'm saying, there are a lot of people that are from the ghetto, uh, or what they could consider the ghetto, people like Rev Run and stuff, and they actually appreciate the value of McDonald's meal and stuff like that. And once they achieve, more financial success or wealth, however, it could be just feeling happy, at peace with yourself. It doesn't even have to be a lot of money. It could be like, when you really grow up and you go through things, I appreciate 50,000 over, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me. I'll appreciate making 50,000, but most of us start off small. We make, and we'll start out making a stack a month or every 2 weeks and make a certain amount, $12,000 to $30,000 a month. A year on it. Annually, and then it'll go up. I think I'm gonna get into truck driving and things of that nature, and it all just build confidence. Then I'll get to meet people that really be like, I'm in the United States. I can go to a hood all the way in California or Nevada or something. They'll be like, yeah, this the hood right here too. It ain't no different. So that's what I gotta realize and I gotta deal with. Because I actually watch videos of people in different areas of the country and the globe. There's apps and stuff. I'm trying to actually interact with people. That's how you promote yourself. You know what I'm saying? You just got to put yourself out there. Like I said, I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and You go out there and you see how the scenery is made, but it's a different vibe. When I go to Powder Springs, when I go to Cobb County, there's one particular area in Georgia that is a detox for me. I lived in a community called Louse Mountain, and when you go there, and is as opposed to being in downtown Atlanta, it's like the vibe is so different. And there are places in Atlanta. There are some very well groomed apartment housing in Atlanta and things of that nature. But the nature is different. Once you learn the history and stuff, it's like you feel it. When I say I went to McKeecher in high school in Kennesaw, and I actually, valued the Lost Mountain. That was the most expensive, I think, or most upscale neighborhood I lived in, and I actually enjoyed it. It was very peaceful, even in surviving crime, being in crime, whatever. It just felt so different. I felt so at peace with myself. I think anybody could say that. You know what I'm saying? Because any place can be made the ghetto, but you know what I'm saying, you just value your life more. I want to build a house one day of my own, or I want to I hope that my little sister, that their goals are to actually just study lots and lots of information, random books, and just go ahead and learn. Or, say you got common sense, book a flight, go somewhere, find you somewhere, create a paradigm for yourself to feel safe. My little sisters and I grew up in the ghetto. What goes on in the ghetto? All those ghetto movies, Menace to Society, is exactly what's going on. Those Tyler Perry movies is exactly what's going on. And people really want to prepare for that in the ghetto, but at the same time, they scorn you. You know what I'm saying? You might grow up and have sex at an early age, and somebody say, well, that's what you're going to deal with. You're going to deal with a chauvinistic mentality. You're going to deal with people rejecting you. You're going to deal with men trying to have sex with you against your own will, because the concept of rape is formed out of somebody that feels vulnerable and violated. And that's why, what I'm saying, I tell people, a lot of people be like, well, if you're traumatized, if you're not having seizures or anything, but depression is just as bad. And I'm glad that, that's why I like Cobb County, because there are some places where you go where people are way more sympathetic. In the ghetto, most people are taught to be macho, and I don't care if this, that, and the third. But like I said, life will kick your ass, because at the end of the day, I grew up, and I shouldn't be viewing chauvinism, I shouldn't be agitated by the idea of chauvinism and things of that nature. So, what I'm saying, there had to be mishaps. I stressed for absolutely no reason growing up, and it just didn't make no sense. And have the men in my life know that too. Like you're a man. They weren't taught to be pessimistic. They were taught to be acceptive of their reality, and I was taught to feel guilty. What I'm saying, as a female, and I was like, well, am I the reason why he seems so effeminate? Or, when you talk about effeminate males or hyper masculine males, that's all really dysfunctional paradigms that I want to stay away. It just depends on the situation. Like I said, being muscle, being strengthful is good for when you're protecting somebody. That's why most, people should become, once they change their life, if they are doing bad or evil things, they can become police officers and channel their energy into protecting people that couldn't protect themselves growing up. So I just need to be around somebody that doesn't, have a chauvinistic attitude toward women, or that understands, and it will be so detoxing for my, brain, as far as feeling negative and everything with penetrative sex with a man, and, being him having sex with me against my own will, and basically viewing me as a submissive because of that. I really regret the fact that I interacted with men in that aspect, but I didn't do it, on my own. I kind of grew a selfish nature. I remember I was taught to be a girl, I guess. It was, it happened naturally. I had a Barbie Jeep, I had a kitchen set, and then I would have a boy cousin come over, and I would not want him to play with me. And, he was a boy, so he was being put on some type of pedestal for as far as masculinity is concerned. So that's how I, developed my inferiority complex to men, because I basically analyzed their personalities and created songs out of it, and they're just being men. They weren't being questioned about anything, and they all became chauvinistic men to me, and they all was sitting there viewing me as a weak person because of their penis. And I really think that is some weak shit, because me, in the concept of reality, I should have been watched as a child, and that's probably, people really do develop attitudes because of things like that. You know what I'm saying? I grew up and I realized the double standards and the way that I was being treated. And I'm like, I have to stay away from half these people just to live my life. So with all that being said, none of the people in my life were important, but that's what we do all that. We wake up, we thank God or whoever, Jehovah, Allah, and we go to church and we hang out all week, or we might go to a club or go out to eat, and that's what we're celebrating. I was just telling my coworker, or I think she's a manager, um, she was saying basically that that's what that I was telling her that basically she was saying that Cardi B can go to California. I mean, everybody in this life is pretty much doing the same thing. You work hard or you don't work hard. You're learning, and or you're not learning. So there's a lot of people that want to disrespect you. I grew up in an environment where I was supposed to be in love with a dysfunctional type of male, but we weren't supposed to be having sex. Like I said, people in my community formed superiority over me and my mom and people. That's how it is. It's like if you want a job or you want some substance to your life, they became property managers. So people would be like, I don't like her today, or you might have one neighbor that do like you and be like, well, we'll see you at bingo. We're gonna rob you. There were people really, plan on the downfall of my family. So most women are viewing themselves as butch because of the concept of